Peace. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. We're not coming. We're not going too far in the past. Right now. We're not going too far in the future. And we're not coming, pause. And we're not coming too far in the past. Right now. Right now. Matter of fact, speaking of the, the Libra energy, highlighting the vibe of relationships, and balancing energies, of course. But in that vibe of relationships, I want to get into the vibe of our relationships with crystals, and just another aspect of us dealing with crystals on a level to expand on them, as far as like again, some people may call it crystal magic, and again, for the most part, magic, basically programming the subconscious mind through ritual, trauma, repetition, symbols, talisman, and getting the subconscious to a place where we are manifesting what we want and not what someone else programmed us to. So basically our magic is somewhat, for lack of a better word, the manipulation of our subconscious mind in order to be in alignment, aka manifest certain things, be in alignment with manifesting certain things within this realm. You gotta do a certain level of subconscious programming and rituals and affirmations. For the most part, that's basically what I meant. I mean, we are walking magic. Matter of fact, shout out to the Queen Keys. I saw she did a video about, just the magic of us, being like the fact that we are no thing is what allows us to be everything. It's not like, oh, we're all one in it. No, it's like the aspect of being the no thing and us all interconnected to that no thing, because before any of us speak or take action or anything makes a sound, it comes from that void, from that darkness, from that silence, from that no thing. Before I'm speaking, it has to come from that no thing first and foremost, But that's the basis of magic. But and also to reference, I got a video that speaks on sympathetic magic in connection with the tarot cards. Definitely go check out this video, because I don't want to over-explain certain aspects. But that'll have like some type of connection what I'm talking about. There may be some other video that's not coming up right now, but that one for sure, dealing with the law of contagion. And basically to speak on the law of contagion, once things have come into contact with each other, they continue to act on each other and react with each other at a distance, even after physical contact has been stopped. And matter of fact, and that was the other aspect, I don't know if both videos are one and the same, but also psychometry, Psychometry. And basically, psychometry is the psychic ability to read or to obtain some type of information about an object by touching it or feeling it. This reading can give us psychic clues about an item's history, or about its origins, or about its owner or owners. Owners, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't own shit in this realm, for lack of a better word. Similar to readings done by scrying with a crystal ball or magic mirror, but in psychometry, the reading is done by touching a particular object. It's like scrying by touch. And I'm bringing up psychometry because, again, it's like, dealing with all objects, but I'm speaking to, right now I'm dealing with crystals. And matter of fact, so another vibe too, shout out to, matter of fact, blessings to the Queen, much love and light to the Queen, Miss Shanice, who came into my realm and actually, spoke on this situation. And when she brought it up, I'm like, that's funny, that sound like something I would have been doing, but, it was like, dang, like, kind of like on that, I'm slipping on my little crystal vibe, but, speaking on how she planted certain crystals around Mount Shasta, and, and basically, like, again, that law of contagion. So if I take, this piece of garnet, let's just say for instance, and I want a strong connection energy. I go with the example I'm already in. Like I want a strong grounding. I want the energy. So say for instance, dealing with Mount Shasta, but in connection with Garnet, because it's just like, say for everything is like a math equation or like a percentage. You know, like when we looking at astrology, you know, it's like if the moon is in Libra, it's gonna be so a little bit of the moon aspects in connection with a little bit of the Libra aspects, you know, and that's gonna be, you know, like you blend those vibes together. So if I got a crystal in Mount Shasta and that crystal is Garnet, you know, that energy, of course, is going to be dealing with the Garnet, so it's going to be dealing with my passion, with my groundedness, you know, with my courageousness in connection with the energy of Mount Shasta, you know. But if I was to break this little crystal into a piece and say, for instance, and leave a piece of Mount Shasta and then go to Louisiana back to my mom's house, I could be able to tap in to the energies and catch, you know, downloads, whether it's communicating with the Devic Kingdom, and go check out my video on the Devic Kingdom, or multiple videos on the Devic Kingdom, DEVIC, or the Elemental Kingdom, you know, dealing with the fairies, the gnomes, the different, you know, earth, water, air, and fire spirits, you know, again, the elementals. But, you know, it may build a connection of getting a certain level of courage and passion from that Mount Shasta area while I'm, you know, within my journeys on Louisiana, and it could vary just like with anything. With the, you know, the situation will vary to what crystal you're using, down to what place you're leaving the crystal in. You know, I could leave a crystal at my mom's house, like a piece of crystal quartz, and whenever I want to, you know, I feel the vibe to want to amplify, you know, some high vibrational energies or some positive vibes in my mom's house for her to connect with, I could just hold a piece of quartz that I got with me and send that vibe quantumly to that other crystal quartz. Because here it is again, y'all, we have these abilities. Like, this ain't no crazy, far-fetched type of shit. It's only crazy and far-fetched because your pineal closed. And you start to see that trend. Like, the only people who feel like that shit crazy, or say, for instance, even on your own growth, like, the only reason why you might have felt like these types of things were crazy at one time or far-fetched because your pineal was closed and you couldn't even fathom being tapped into energy on that level because you were so closed down. And that's the whole end game and the trick to them with the politics of poisoning the water and trying to promote people to eat food, like to eat a lot of meat, like of course meat in moderation, but just to do like basically the promotion of trying to close down your pineal gland, you know, whether it's through fear promotion, through unhealthy food, whatever the case may be. You know, you see why. It's because you have these abilities. Because another thing too, all the phone companies get shut down when we start communicating with crystal quartz and start operating on these type of levels with, you know, with crystals, or just with, you know, with our inner being in general, and tapping into our, you know, our you know, I don't like using the word non-physical, but our less dense, you know, vibrations. When we tap into those vibrations, you know, we don't need all this, like the cell phone I'm doing this video on. I could be doing this through a piece of crystal quartz for everybody to see in their house right now, but because of the collective being, you know, like on the vibe of I wouldn't be able to believe that, or I can't believe that, or this don't exist, then that affects the, you know, collective of what's going on. Because that's a part of our work right now too, is doing the inner work, and then it turns, you know, the inner work turns into the outer work. You know, being in alignment with higher self, lifting that vibration within ourselves, and then it becomes to like, all right, now, so say for instance, I did my inner work, so now I could believe that, you know, we could fly and that we have telepathy and things of this nature, and as I be that, you know what I'm saying, being the change I want to see, you know, other people could learn from it, you know what I'm saying, and vibe with it from, you know, from their perspective, and it not being forced upon them. But anyway, you know, we do have these abilities, so, you know, again, what I'm mostly speaking to is the fact that, you know, we can put our crystals in certain little places and tap into these energies on all different types of levels. You know, if there's a certain being you want to tap into, like say for instance, I'll barrier, ooh, that's why it came to me like that. I'll barrier a piece of mystic. Ooh, that gotta happen. So barrier a piece of say for instance, mystic merlinite and pneumite, like, you know, chip off a piece of each one. So I have a piece to hold on for myself, and then I put the little pieces in this certain area. But I thought about pneumite and mystic merlinite and burying it in a cemetery where Marie Laveau is said to be. And matter of fact, the reason why I just say, you know, it's said to be, you know, because they do have all these different little speculations and all this, but, you know, or just in New Orleans in general, around some little area that it was known for Marie Laveau to frequent, you know, and you put those crystals there, and in order to, you know, tap into a strong, let's just say a strong inner guidance vibe from Marie Laveau, where you want to tap into her guidance a little stronger, or, you know, you want to, you want help from her, and I did a video about that. You go check that out. If you just look up Universal Frequencies Marie Laveau, it should pop up, and how she's moving into a higher godship. But you know, you put those crystals in that area, and I grab my little mystic merlinite, pneumite, and be like, all right, you know, I want to amplify the vibe of my little gree bag, a little poppet I'm dealing with. You know, a poppet is you know, let's see where my poppet at. Little buddy. You know, a poppet, like you might be trying to bring life into a little poppet. You know, a figure, a mannequin, or something of that nature. Because too, you could use poppets for yourself. And matter of fact, and what we talking about too is also like building a crystal poppet in essence. You know, like say for instance, those crystals I just talked about, you know, having them in that area, and say for instance wrapping them onto this little poppet, and letting this little poppet kind of be the animation of, you know, that energy. So when I grab and work with this poppet, it's like basically like working with Marie Laveau, you know, in some way, form, or fashion. But you know, it's multiple different layers, you know, again, that we could tap into this, you know, and I'm just sharing again. I already spoke on the law of contagion and psychometry in other videos, and just bringing it up in connection with, you know, working with crystals, and, you know, having crystals in a certain place, you know, and being able to work with them from a distance, you know. But again, whether it's to communicate with the energy of a certain area, you know, it's multiple layers, and I'm trying to, you know, as I'm talking, because I didn't write up any examples before I did this video, I'm allowing to see, you know, what little examples pop up as I go. But, you know, which I think I already spoke on this, but these notes probably attached to this. But, and also just the video I did about the way crystals, you know, form also goes into their energy. But also, if I didn't speak on it, you know, also like what area, as above so below, as within so without. You know, certain cells feel comfortable in certain areas and certain bodies, you know, like say for instance, I forgot what let's see, the Dominican Republic is where you could find Larimar, say for instance, and Larimar has a strong calcium content. So you know, and let's see what the vibe of calcium is. So, you know, so basically, you know, being in certain geographical regions also have a certain energy due to not only, you know, what the people have done over time in these certain areas, but also what you know, what type of crystals or stones, or, you know, what type of minerals or elements is sitting over, you know, on top of, is also given to the energy. Because say for instance, some of us, without realizing it, may move to certain little areas, you know, due to, you know, the certain crystals, you know, like say for instance, me and my brethren just spoke on that, like in the area of Arizona, you know, that's more of like that red clay, you know, red energy to the ground, you know. So in that area, you're gonna have more of a root chakra type of vibe, and you see that, like, cause say for instance, Australia kind of has like that red clay vibe too. And that red clay vibe, when you think about Arizona and Australia, both, that's funny. It's not funny, you know, but both starting with the letter A. but they had this red clay, and the people in these areas tend to be a little more, say for instance, adventurous on that outdoory type of vibe, you know. Like people might be going hiking certain areas of the Grand Canyon where they possibly could have flash floods and stuff, or climbing up certain little rocks without harnesses and stuff like that, you know, the outback, and you know how that go, you know. But you know, due to that, and again, not only the elements, you know, giving off a certain energy due to, you know, molecular structures and electron count and stuff like that, but also again what colors, you know, because that and mostly red has to deal with a lot of iron content, you know, and iron again helps to oxidize the blood, and when the blood is oxidated, it could flow to the muscles and pump easier, you know. And if it's flowing to the muscles good, that means you got a little vitality to do things, and you know, to be more active, and also, you know, stimulating that sexual energy as well, you know, that passion, that desire, you know, again, like that fiery masculine energy, you know, due to what's growing within that area. But again, I was just talking about Larimar. Larimar has a high calcium content, so I'm just going to see what calcium. What's the energies for calcium? So calcium encourages the metabolism of the cells, absorption of nutrients by the cell membranes, and energy use in the cells. It is necessary for the formation of DNA, the carrier of genetic information, and RNA, the messenger that passes on information on proteins, enzymes, and hormones. Calcium supports the growth, firmness, and flexibility of bones, teeth, and tissue. It is important for the regulation of the acid-alkali balance and encourages the elimination of fluid, the antagonist of sodium. I'm talking about the fluid. It supports blood clotting, which is the antagonist of magnesium. And finally, calcium is important for the formation of transmitter substances in the sensory system, from nerves to organs or muscles. It regulates the heart rhythm and strengthens the heart, you know. On the psychological, mental level, calcium encourages receptivity, discrimination, and memory. And when we say discrimination, that's like discernment, you know, like I just finished saying about, you know, regulates the heart rhythm and strengthens the heart, and the heart deals with discernment. You know, again, not to get caught up in the 3D words of it, but you know, discernment, you know, discrimination, but being able to say, all right, having a discernment of like, all right, I shouldn't deal with this energy because I could feel a certain vibe coming from it. Not discern, you know, again. Encourages receptivity, discernment, and memory. Let's say it like that. It has an emotional stabilizing effect and then self-confidence, and helps to eliminate fear, particularly of accidents and illness. You know, calcium gives inner drive in cases of lethargy and clears up confusion. Matter of fact, calcium also connected with strong bones. You know, in strong bones, for sure, the bone structure, you know, is connected with the Capricorn energy. Matter of fact, I don't know if I have a book on about that, like with you know, the Saturn energy, and how that STR, you know, the word structure, strict, and strap, to whip your ass, like all words that deal with discipline mostly are rooted in having some type of STR in it, like Saturn, you know what I'm saying? Straighten up before I whip you with this strap. Being stern. What else? But you get the picture, like all those type of vibes connected with, you know, Saturn. But you know, again, the calcium connected with the bones of that foundation energy. Spiritually, calcium regulates the development of the personality. It speeds up a development that is slowing down and normalizes situations where development processes have become over-accelerated and chaotic. Calcium promotes mental growth. So say, for instance, the people in the Dominican Republic, you know, are going to embody a lot of, you know, the energies associated with calcium because of that strong calcium energy with the Larimar in that area. You know what what I'm saying? Due to that vibration of the crystal that's indigenous to that area, so to speak. It's indigenous. I mean, for the most part, because even with the movement of, you know, the quote-unquote plate tectonics, you know, crystals are still, you know, indigenous to the area it's, you know, it's in. Like, say for instance, somebody in Italy, close to the, I forgot the name of that volcano. I don't know if it's still active, but the volcano slash mountain where basically where the crystal Vesuvianite comes from, you know. Or say for instance, people from Danbury, Connecticut, you know, feeling that energy of Danburite very strongly in that area, you know, because that's what grows. So, you know, maybe people in Danbury kind of got maybe like a little lighthearted vibe. Or you think about, matter of fact, being in California, you know, you don't forget about the gold rush. So not only you got sunshine coming from above, and that's why the energy out here, again, it's no coincidence that it's all about, you know, sunlight. Like, hey, what can you do for me? Or as far as like that egoic, you know, vibe of you know, like, say for instance, our sun sign is how we present ourselves to the world, you know what I'm saying? And what everybody about in LA or in Cali, you know, not say the whole Cali, but for sure in LA, is how they present themselves to the world, you know. And when you hear, you kind of, you know, pick up on that energy, you know. And you got gold under your feet as well. So see what matter of fact, so as I'm talking about that, see what the energy for gold is, you know. Pointing to the energies, you know. So gold, on a physical level, gold promotes the distribution of energy and vitality in the body. It is warming and promotes a well-functioning circulation. It helps with problems and diseases of the sexual organs, generally supports the functioning of the glands, and helps heal damage to bones and tissues. Gold regulates conduction of impulses in the nervous system. On a psychological or mental level, gold helps us out of depression. Getting that sunshine, feel the solar plexus energy, you know what I'm saying? Like confidence, creativity, you know, a certain love for life, you know, like that childlike, playful, again, that Leo energy, Leo constellation energy. And no coincidence, again, that these are, you know, this is heat treated citrine, but the citrine vibes, you know, get that sunny, joyous disposition. But again, back to the gold. Gold helps us out of depression or fear of death, and in severe cases, inclination to commit suicide. So, you know, we think about these certain civilizations or beings, you know, especially like for ancient Kemet and certain things, you know, the emphasis of making things out of gold, you know what I'm saying? Like that energy of gold carries a certain vibration, plus gold don't rust easy, you know, it's not oxidized easily as well, you know, so it lasts long. So gold has a certain type of, you know, energy to it. It's not just because it looks the way it looks, you know. It confers self-confidence and self-consciousness and releases us from destructive influences. On the spiritual level, gold brings out our innermost core, our essence to light. It helps give meaning to life and enables the realization of great deeds and projects. Gold represents generosity and magnanimity. Magnanimous meaning, you know, like that level of, you know, godly, kingly, queenliness of, like, you know, holding yourself to a certain high standard, not thinking you're better than anybody, but knowing your worth type of vibe, you know, like that Bruce Lee quote kind of goes to this too. It's like, you know, not saying I'm the, you know, if I said I wasn't good at what I do, you know, I'd be lying to you. Or more so, being confident in myself. And I'm slaughtering it all up, but basically in so many words, like having that certain level of confidence, because realizing, you know, like, say for instance, being confident in what I do, you know, people think, oh, he's all cocky and shit, but at the same time, I can't lie about what I am, you know, or say for instance, to deny how great I am at what I do, I'll be lying. You know what I'm saying? But that magnanimous energy, also promoted by lapis lazuli, by the way, you know, and lapis lazuli has specks of fool's gold in it, so it's like, you know, no coincidence. But you know, that magnanimous energy, again, like just having that vibe of, you know, holding yourself to that higher, you know, reverence, that higher, you know, place of state of consciousness being, you know, but without looking down upon people. You know, certain people you come across, you know, might try to slight you or do certain things, but you understand, like, hey, they just doing this because this is where they at, and because I am accountable, you know, like, there's also a certain level of accountability, you know, to hold yourself, you know, again, to a certain level, you know. So I know I took all that to that's magnanimous or magnanimity. But again, seeing that connection with, you know, the goal and being in this area of California, and, you know, that whole connection. So again, so tapping into this energy, you know, with certain crystals, you know, talk to your crystals, you know, be like, you know, is it cool for me, you know, because some crystals, you know, we don't just want to go to just breaking up the crystals and things of this nature, you know. The crystals might not want to, you know, disassemble in essence, as far as like break down into smaller pieces. So you got to run that by the crystal, you know, like, you know, feel the vibe if the crystal, you know, wants to be separated in that type of form or matter, you know. Because again, all different, just like us, all different things have a certain purpose, and that's certain crystals do have that purpose of like, hey, it's like part of my experience in this lifetime is to be broken in half and have half of my being in one place and half of my being in other. You know what I'm saying? That's part of that path for that crystal in that moment, you know. But again, you know, having a certain crystal in a certain area, you want to. If I'm in Louisiana and I want to channel that confident, matter of fact, I want to channel that solar, sunlight, confidence, the sun shining all day, know my worth, magnanimous type of energy. I'll have a little crystal stashed somewhere in LA, you know. Matter of fact, though, in a you know, I know Hollywood type of spot, you know, like in a nice, maybe somewhere by the beach in LA, you know, and then as I'm back in Louisiana, I'm tapping into that, you know, that LA vibe due to the connection with the crystal, you know. As a matter of fact, I could use citrine, you know, for example. So not only connecting with the energy from the law of contagion vibe of like connecting with the Los Angeles energy, but also connecting with the energy of the citrine, because the citrine also amplifies those energies as well, you know. So it's, you know, just use your imagination. That's what, you know, again, I'm of course, some of the things I speak on, you know, you're going to learn from directly. In essence, I say learn from directly, but, you know, get some type of insight from. But, you know, play with this yourself, like get creative with it. You know, it's certain, you know, there's so many layers to it on how you could deal with it, you know. But I'm just setting that blueprint for you to, you know, get it started. Because, again, we're capable of tapping into energies on this high level, and the more we start, you know, tapping into these vibes collectively, you know, the more, you know, our abilities are gonna, you know, strengthen, and the less strength that these little, you know, cell phones and all these little electronics will have over us, you know. That's why they pushing, you know, say for instance, the 5G network and all these different things to kind of, you know, try to lower the vibration to a place where, cause you realize, like, you know, like on your growth, that literally wherever you are consciously, that's the dimension you in, you know. Like, think about it. Like, I look back at when I was drinking 40s, you know, and doing that, like this realm of chakras and levitating and all this always did exist. You know, it always did exist. But I was in a realm of reality of drinking 40s and popping Xanax. So I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? So that's not to say that this realm didn't exist, But, you know, because my conscience was in a certain state. So what I'm saying is, you know, these things exist. Don't see it as something so far-fetched, because even us who dealing with it and understand that these things are real was once in a state where we could have felt like this shit was some bullshit, you know, due to, again, where our conscience at, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, if the collective consciousness is still in that vibe, oh, that shit fake, or this shit ain't real, or this and that, then that's going to be the collective. We have a chance and I mean, of course it's going to happen. You know, this is, you know, a growth that is inevitable for the most part. I say inevitable, you know, we are moving towards this growth, but, you know, again, making sure we're diligent about, you know, just that vibe of constantly growing and growing at our own pace, and vibing with it through our own inner guidance, you know. So, say for instance, I'm speaking on this, you know, it may not be, you know, your time to, or you know, something that resonates with you to even work with crystals like that, then, you know, that's not for you, you know what I'm saying, in that sense. But, you know, we are tapping into these realms, you know, on a higher vibration, you know, to the point of eliminating a lot of, you know, certain technologies. You know, that's the chess game too. You know, dealing with certain aspects like with Tesla and, you know, and these, because again, that's a curveball within itself too. You know, the fact of like trying to go to the moon, like, trying to travel in a spaceship. Like the spaceship is the pineal gland. The spaceship is being in alignment with our inner source, and I could go anywhere. I could go to multiple dimensions. Just like, again, they drip that sauce in the movie Doom with a spice. The spice harvested from one planet, you know, a certain planet, you know, just kind of like the story of, you know, like with the Terra Papers with Robert Morningsky speaking on the Inca and Lil story, and, you know, Earth, and, you know, again, mining gold, or like the spice, you know, that allows for, like, when you would take it, you could travel interdimensionally without necessarily going anywhere, you know, and that's basically what we do with our pineal gland. But that's why they're trying to create all this, oh, we're going to the moon, or we went to the moon, you know. As a matter of fact, that's why Kennedy, you know, to some extent was, you know, allowed to be where he was. It's because at one point he was like, you know, talking about going to the moon, and ask not what you could do, what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country, and this and that, you know. He was, you know, and he was also like that vibe of like trying to make melanated people feel comfortable to a state where they would stop standing up for their rights, you know, like to get to start that fake vibe of like how they basically like what they did with Obama to some extent. It's like, oh, we got a black president. Now racism no longer exists, even though it still exists. We just got a black president, but, you know, mentally, subconsciously, because I see a black president in front of me, I'm gonna stop standing up for these injustices, you know, due to, hey, we got a black president now. Like, you know, it's like some bullshit ass shit to, you know, get you to feel comfortable. Like how I explained, and too, just going with the flow of the video, how I explained about like you know, a slave master. You know, if my slave, if they got slaves revolting on other plantations, you know, I got two options. I could either, you know, like go and whip my slaves harder. I can be like, I'm gonna whip the shit out of them and make sure that if they do come across some information about, you know, these other slaves being free, they're gonna be scared to listen. Or I could, cause if I whip their ass harder, yeah, I'm gonna scare them even more. But there's still that chance that they won't be slaves for long, cause they're gonna realize that at some point that I'm just treating them, you know, too extremely bad. Like they're gonna get it. So if I really want to keep a slave for a long time, you know, so say if I'm the slave master, and I'm gonna let the slave come in the house and be like, hey, bro, come try my new rocking chair, you know, and, you know, allow for them to get comfortable in the house, you know, so that way, when some freed slaves come around and come with the literature of like, bro, y'all not free, y'all still living in the master house, and y'all need to, you know, be free and have your own land and all, you know, those slaves in that house gonna be like, well, oh no, you know, master shows love. Nah, master allowed for me to sit in this chair. Not realizing that you can have more than just master's chair. You know what I'm saying? But again, master done played the chess game on you where he done started, oh yeah, you could be in movies now. Hey, I'll let you be in this movie. Here, I'll let you get a couple million, you know. Like, I'll let you sit in my favorite chair. But at the end of the day, I still run the plantation, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the whole vibe. And apologies for that tangent outside of the crystal realm, but again, just going with the flow of the vibe of what I was feeling in the moment. But definitely tapping into these energies. That's basically it. Again, the law of contagion vibe, you know, planting the crystals in certain areas, you know, being able to tap into the energies from a distance, you know. Peace. Happy now. I was a vibrator, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.